Puss in Boots. In the olden days, in a small city in Italy, there lived a poor old miller with his three sons. The year went by, and Miller passed away, leaving nothing but his milk, donkey, and a cat. In his testament, he left the mill for the eldest, the donkey for the second born, and the cat for the youngest sons. The youngest sons grumbled, I will just end up eating the cat. Listening to this, Puss the cat said, do not be sad, master. Just give me a bag and a pair of boots. Then I will show you that you did not receive such a poor inheritance in me. Thinking how cunning the cat was, the thought to give the cat a chance to help him, he went to the market, spent his last pennies on ordering a pair of boots for the cat, and gave the cat his bag. The cat looked very gallant in his boots.
Then the cat put them and got into his bag with the side of the bag in his two short fast and light by a rabbit wearing striking as if he were dead. He waited for some young rabbit who were still not acquainted with the desert of the world. Not long after that, a reckless young rabbit jumped into his bag and put suddenly across the string and caught the rabbit. He went happily to the place with a rabbit in his bag. He begged to speak with the king. Meeting the king in person, the mother loud and said, he have brought you, my majesty, a rabbit of the realm with my noble Lord the Marquis of Carabas has commanded me to present to you. The king surely was very pleased with the present. Another time again he hid among the conflict with his bag open, and when a brace of Spartacus ran into it, he saw through the string and condemned the same as what the head done before. Next, a present for the king. The cat kept continuing sending the present.
One day, the heard that the king and his daughter were about to live in his chariot along the river bank. Puss in Boots told his master, if you follow me at first, your fortune is close. Without questioning and warning way or Miller's son did what the cat wished him to do. While he was washing, the king passed by, and the cat began to cry out, help, help, my lord, Marquis of Carabas is going to be drowned. Hearing the noise, the king put his head out of the cat's window and saw the cat who had so often broke him such inspiration. The cat came up to the judge and told the king that while his lord was washing, there came by some request who stole his scholars. This cunning cat had actually hidden the goldfish under a big stone. The king commanded his guards to fetch one of his best suits for the Lord Marquis of Carabas.
The king was very pleased to finally meet the Marquis of Carabas. Although Miller's son was poor, he was handsome and brave fellow so that the king's daughter fell in love with him. The king invited him to sit in the church and read along with him. The cat felt overjoyed and marched on before, and as he met some countrymen who were mowing a meadow, he said to them, "Good people, you who are mowing, if you do not tell the king that the meadow you mow belongs to my lord Marquis of Carabas, those soldiers will chop you up like herbs for the pot." The king asked the mowers to whom the meadow they were mowing belonged. "To my lord Marquis of Carabas," answered them all together, for the cat's dress had made them dreadfully afraid. "You see, sir, this is a meadow which never fails to yield a plentiful harvest every year," said the Marquis, amplifying the list of the cat. Puss, who went before them, met with some repress and told the same thing. "You went the king passed by and asked the repress, who told the king that all the court belonged to Lord Marquis of Carabas." Then shockingly the king said, "Let's now go to your castle." The miller's son, not knowing what to reply, looked at Puss, who said, "If your majesty will but wait and hold, I will go before you and order the castle to be made ready for you." With that he jumped away and went to the castle of Ogre. Ogre asked to see him, saying he could not pass so near his home without having the honor of paying his respect to him. The ogre received him and made him sit down.
"I have been assured," said the cat, "that you have the gift of being able to change yourself into all sorts of creatures as you wish." "That is true. You shall see me now become a lion," answered the ogre vigorously. Puss was so terrified. However, he had a brilliant idea. "However," said the cat, "I fear that you will not be able to save yourself even in the form of a lion, for the king is coming with his army and means to destroy you." The ogre looked out of the window and saw the king waiting outside with his soldiers. So he said, "What shall I do? How shall I save myself?" Puss replied, "If you change yourself into something very small, then you can hide." In an instant, the ogre turned himself into a mouse, and Puss immediately fell upon him and ate him up. Puss then ran off and invited the king to visit the castle. "Does this castle also belong to you? There can be nothing finer than this court and all the stately buildings which surround it," said the king to Marquis of Carabas.
The Marquis gave his hand to the princess and followed the king, who went first. They passed into a spacious hall, where they found a magnificent room furnished, which the ogre had prepared for his friends, who were that very day to visit him. The friends, however, did not dare to enter, knowing that the king was there. The king was perfectly crammed with the good qualities of my Lord Marquis of Carabas. Without waiting any longer, he said to him, "If you do not mean, my Lord Marquis, be my son-in-law," the Marquis, making several low bows, accepted that honor, and on the very same day he married the princess, who finally became a great lord, and never ran after Miss anymore, except for pleasure.